In the two losses in the fourth quarter, Golden State's just been obliterated. In this one, you sensed it even in the third as we saw Golden State do what they do. You sensed that gas tank was where?
Yeah, it just looked like to me they were not going to have enough to push this thing across the finish line, despite that great run. You knew at some point a flurry would probably come, and it did.
Yep.
But I just didn't feel, even then, that Boston was going to give that whole thing up and it would eventually impose their physical will on them. This was a situation tonight. I think two teams played to their strengths, and Boston's strength was just much greater tonight. Their size, their athletic ability, their physical strength. And the other thing about Golden State, in the third quarter, you felt like they weren't still necessarily looking and hunting threes, even though they were getting some, and they're harder to defend that way. When they just typically get one-dimensional the way they did in the fourth quarter, where that's really all they were looking for, now you really are playing into the hands of the Boston Celtics. They extend, they've got length, they can switch a bunch of stuff, and that's where Golden State looks tired. It's happened twice now in this series where they basically were shut down on the offensive end of the floor, and on the other end had a very difficult time either containing the ball tonight, or in game one it was really defending the three-point line. But either way, Boston had a tremendous response to what they saw in the third quarter.
Jonathan Kuminga got 219 tonight. I know that's a guy you're saying maybe give him a look. And look, Jordan Poole's had a star turn this year and looked the part. What's he looked like to you in the finals thus far?
Completely uncomfortable. I still believe in his skill set. I believe in his skill set. I found myself defending him a little bit here since this series started with people that I've talked to about him throughout the year. I believe that this guy is a big-time offensive player. He does not look comfortable on the floor right now. He's doubting himself. He's hesitating a lot. He just doesn't look certain when he gets the basketball. It looks like a hot potato sometimes. That's not what we saw out of Jordan Poole all year. He emerged as a legitimate, big-time scoring threat.
No doubt.
That they need in this series. And I'm just not convinced now after 3 games we're going to get that at any point, because Ime Udoka knows it too. And I think they're getting into him a little bit, and it's rattled him. He's a young player going through this for the first time. It might be a little bit much to ask, but a guy like Kuminga, I'm just saying, listen, I know he's 19 years old, but he's 6'8". He jumps through the rafters. He's a physical presence. He will run down some offensive rebounds. And he also just seems like a cool cat. Like he's not going to be fazed by the moment, and he gives you a physical presence against these guys from Boston that are throwing you around in the paint. Maybe you go there, but I also know coaches do not like to react to what people in the media tell them to do. Right. They tend to dig in the opposite way, so I don't know if we're going to see Kuminga get meaningful minutes.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.